Well, what's going on? It's 7:05 at night. It's May 15th, 2025 for a Thursday. We were John C. Roseman, California. You're a zombie out in the Antelope Valley. Yeah, enough of this said on that one. Okay, so today Supreme Court actually heard an argument concerning about if birthright citizenship is legal or not, and should it be not allowed for anybody coming across our borders and having kids, because that would make the kids citizens. So apparently, the Trump regime wants no citizenship. Period. Must prove it. You must have prior documentation before you get born. Um, how's the kid supposed to get the documentation? Oh, it's supposed to be through the parents. Okay. And if the parents have been there, they're supposed to be showing documentation to the doctors and everybody else before a kid gets born. We've already had um, we've already had immigrants, either legally crossed or not, getting yanked out even during birth and tossed out of the country. And they're still trying to make it legal to do so. That's why they had the argument in the Supreme Court this morning. And I listened to it. Most of the time, it's just word salad. They're talking about other court cases I didn't even come across or other um, legal terminology I hadn't come across. So I'm just trying to hear bits and pieces, whether or not if it actually does relate with the reasons that the birthright citizenship should be taken out of the Constitution or not followed. Because it is part of our Constitution. It is part of our country. That when you are born here, you're a citizen of the country. Doesn't matter where you came from, you are a citizen of this country. Other people have a problem with it. We get rid of people who are born from different areas coming into the country either legally or illegally with valid paperwork or without valid paperwork. And then we got one country who's got racial tensions up to yin yang. And we have to have a select few given special circumstances and just flown over here and say, come on in. Meanwhile, we got ICE raids going on all over the damn place. And if that isn't fun enough, ICE, Border Patrol, and a few other agencies out there are looking for independent contractors, or actually independent journalists, or social content creators out there. People are on social media. Of course, there's a flag warned out there. There's an article about it. But I keep looking what they're looking at, what they're looking for. Foreign sounding names. Not Judeo Christian, not English, as if maybe it was from Scotland, or maybe they would have a problem with that one. Or maybe just plain English, or from England. That way to them it's sounding all white. And they should come over here, despite the fact they may have angry issues over anybody and everybody. That wasn't bad enough. Go to a college or university level. You're about to give your speech. You made it through college. You did your time. You sweated it out through the college courses, through the exams, the multiple nights of sleeplessness, and you're sitting in the lecture halls looking at the professor like, and you'll probably have one of the professors going, Bueller, 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 trying to take attendance. Yeah, if you've been there long enough, they'll know you that you're probably coming in as a zombie, either with a tall cup of coffee, probably in a thermos jug, and you're barely just coming to the seat and just staying there like, good, we get to have a pop quiz today. I know a few professors did that to us. Changed the syllabus a great deal. and you get through all your test, your materials, and everything else, and then you finally get to the graduation office and says, "Yes, you've got the points." Counselor's office says, "Yes, you got the points. You're ready to go on the stage. You're going to do this." Guess what? You get to do a speech. Panic about that one. But then you have to figure out what exactly you're going to be talking about to the future of the students, or you're going to be talking to them about the past, present, future, good, bad, ugly, whatever it is that's on your topic mind. And you already cleared it through the office, and the office says, "Okay, no problem." And then you present the material that you actually had presented to the instructors and faculty and the administrators. So they all know what you're going to be saying at this point. And then you say it. And it's stirring, it's moving, it freaks people out. And the shareholders are saying, "No, we don't allow this damn thing. Let him say what he wants, but we're holding his piece of paper. His sheepskin, so to speak." That is not about sheepskin. That is the dog again. She will be obeyed. Okay, so what am I referring to? There's a young man, NYU, made it to the top. And then he talks about what's happening in the Middle East. And he's very poignant about it, and he's very specific, and he's accusing a great deal. Uh, and does he have it right? Well, hell, I'd feel the same way too sometimes. But he picked his perfect spot, his perfect timing to say what he was going to say. The crowd went wild. Some people were like, "Ew!" But everyone else was like, "Okay, we got him." Shareholders, board of directors, yank him. Yank his paperwork. Call it disciplinary action. Here's the thing I don't get. What is it with New York University penalizing a student because he's exercising his First Amendment rights? People are still having a conniption fit over how to analyze and how to figure out if the rights that we have right now are for everybody coming into the damn country, if they're born in the country, or are they just visiting in the country? But usually for the citizens, we think we have an understanding that freedom of speech, we can criticize our own government. Of course, we have problems with somebody else coming into our country and criticizing our government. Yeah, we'd probably take offense of the damn thing, unless we understood where they're coming from. And if they're telling us that we have this grievance against it. Yeah, I agree. But for me as a citizen, I got to say it to my elected officials and let them know what's going on. You're really being a bit of an ass tonight. Trying to get my words out. Got it red-handed, fussing. So, you're a student, got a student visa, and you went into the college. And here's the thing, there's nothing more said about this particular student of what his situation is. At least not that I have seen just yet. If he's visiting from outside, that's one thing, but this guy. Yeah, this guy. I understand he's got a problem with people. Well, I'd have a problem with the United States either on this one here. I really would. And he's talking about his own conscience. He's making a protest about the damn thing. Now, normally the speeches would tell people what the students had thought of, what they wanted to do, what they wanted to challenge. And he was just speaking his mind. And unfortunately, the university is saying, no, you can't do that. But why not? Because it's not allowed. Who says this is the United States of America? And if I am a citizen of this country, I got a blasted right here to criticize anything and everybody, including my elected officials at this point over here, or trying to create this havoc. But you don't like this. See, New York university system is going to get their ass reamed over this thing. The problem is they don't want money being taken out of their school systems. Otherwise, they're out of a job. The higher up universities, if they're not financially secured enough, they're fearing that the Trump administration will pull the plug. They won't get any more federal funding. And that means their jobs are gone. Their livelihood. If they made the campus their home, almost quite literally, faculty and higher ups, they don't want to get evicted. So naturally, they're going to be putting they're going to be pulling something stupid like this. They want to give students a chance to excel, yes, but they're walking a fine line because they don't want to piss off the federal government, even though we got a right to piss off the federal government. This is how our country in a democracy works. But this is not about democracy. This is about saving the campus's ass and their system. There have already been several other smaller universities, 4 years out there. Some of them had to close down because they couldn't get the federal fundings. Simply put, they got the plug pulled. Not just because they were getting controversial. Because Musk and Trump and the Trumplicans out there and the Doge and all that shit pulling the plug on everything, including higher education. Will you knock that off? You want to go around and around? Go yell. Come on. Go yell. Come on. Pain in the butt. That's my dog for you. All blind, pain in the ass, but she's still got spirit left in her. Now, here's the thing. If I happen to do any commencement speeches, I am at a junior college. I'm not at a big high university. I'm at you get out of high school and you want to continue to get maybe an occupational job, or do you actually want to get an academic job of sorts or a career? Start at a bargain basement, work your way up. If you can't qualify for the top docs, you just work your way up with the grades. Now me, I'm 59 years old, put about 10 years into the community college, taking about 2 classes at a time, sometimes 1. But trying not to give up hope of getting a piece of paper to stick on the wall, hopefully with the bugs getting to it. And I wanted to show and prove to people that even an old fart can get in there and graduate. I'm not the only old fart who can graduate. A lot of other old farts do it. They'll take their time at night. They'll take college courses either for fun or they're serious. I mean, I'm taking it for fun and serious. Because I wanted to do something with my life, but back then when I was a kid coming out of high school, I thought I was going to be motivated to do this kind of thing. There are too many damn reasons going on for this shit. And I screwed up myself. I didn't take it seriously enough. My grades weren't all that great. And I got kicked out. And I had to work. I'd taken a few jobs. No, I'd taken a hell of a lot more jobs. A few occupational courses to increase my knowledge for certain job skills. and it helped out. It helped out a great deal. So I was functional. And after kicking my ass and had my ass get kicked out of a job because I damn near got killed in there, and other reasons happened. What else was there for me to do? I no longer could take care of my mother. She's passed away. You guys been watching my videos, you understand reasons why. Taking care of watching my brother, but he's still struggling with his own self, and we're still struggling with the death of our mother. But we also wanted to do something besides go into different recovery holes. But the thing of it is, we got talked into going to college. Dave wanted to spend some of his time doing this thing for fun. What the hell? His first course, he took a couple of history courses, one math course. He found out that being a student, studying that hard, stressed him out a great deal. And me, I didn't. He was told to take 2 classes at a time. I took 2 classes at a time. It worked for me. It still does. So I managed with it. This time, out of pure insanity, I don't know if I'm going to get them or not. I'm taking 3 online courses. I've got to be out of my frickin' mind. But we'll see what happens. Women of history, see if I can do that or not. I did it once before. I think I can do it again. Vietnam. Well, I tried one particular professor who was anti-Vietnam. He was a war he protested back in the 60s and 70s. So he's got a unique point of view of saying, yeah, well. And then there's art of communication. I've never taken that before. So it's going to be interesting for online. So that's a lot more studying. We'll see what happens. If I can do it, I'll do it. If not, I'll just drop one off and still work on the other 2. But I'm going to bust my ass somehow. And if I happen to get low C's on every one of them, well, at least I got C's out of the damn thing. If I get middle to high C's, wow, then I'm doing great. Not bad for an old fart. But I want to keep my brain working. So how would I feel if I happen to go over to the college campus and it's time for my graduation? And if I wanted to give a commencement speech or just a speech to the people in general. Now, normally I could do this on video. That would be no problem. Put it out there on YouTube. No problem. Is there? With our federal government so screwed up with the administrations as they are, we allowed genocide to happen in the Middle East. We allowed a race of people about to be extinct. Now, already, there was already too much war and bloodshed in the Middle East already, concerning about a lot of factions out there. And one of the countries torn apart in 2. Until you had the settlers coming in and taking more and more from the originators. That right now it's going to be it's genocide. It's like there's a cycle being repeated here. The Jews got damn near extinct. So now they're going to be playing payback one way or another. I know, history has a way of repeating itself sometimes, and it's scary as hell. Especially when we're talking about genocide and state-sponsored willing. And that's my country right now doing that. The United States of America. Just because we have a close relationship to Israel. Well, we should have shaken that relationship a hell of a lot harder than it is. And say, look, we don't do genocide. We're not going to be sponsoring genocide. We did. We aim weapons. There's no peace talks. We've got our current commander-in-chief, garbage bag actually, trash bag. He wants commercial property out of Gaza. He wants to get developers over there and develop it into a nice community. It'll be nice for everybody. Privatized and belonging to other corporate wealthy assholes. And while the real people who actually had it got kicked out into different countries, and we're going to be kicking them out back into Palestine if they're going to be lucky enough to stay there. Only because if Israel's got to burr up their ass. I'll say it. I'll say it. If I have to do a commencement address or concerning about it, I'll say it. And then I'll probably look at the board of directors and everybody and said, "You want to take away my damn piece of paper? Go ahead. But at least I went through and I survived this damn college. You're going to be taking away my First Amendment rights? Let's have a field day. Let's have a party. Let's talk about 1776 and 1860, shall we, boys and girls? What happened in those two periods of our country? Of course, they'll be kicking me off my damn campuses and never come back. I said, fine. And what I supported from your school, it can also be taken away. Are you threatening? No, you were already threatening it already. By taking away my rights, my liberty. You see, you guys wanted to be a liberal campus to allow a lot of chatter, a lot of people going back and forth. Intellectual discussion is one thing, but actual yelling and screaming at each other is one thing you never liked in the first place. You want that happen here in this commencement address? Because we'll be turning that into a yelling fist. I don't like what's happening with my government. I don't like what the people had voted in and never accepted responsibility, transparency, or accountability. None of it. And it sucks I have to put my stuff out there on the internet and telling them I'm sorry. Because I have to be the only asshole out there that accepts responsibility, accountability, and transparency. Even though I never voted in the regime we've got. I've talked against it. But I gotta say my thing about it. What about you guys? What about you guys who keep watching the channel? I'm not talking about the international. I'm talking about the ones that are local grown. I'm talking about the ones within the 50 states and also the territories. If you think we made a grave mistake, where is your voices? Where's your comments? Where's your attitude? When we had the United States created, it was not just to be creative and perfect and everything's so jolly it's heaven. No, we inherited a bloody war zone, and we've been that way ever since. We've had conflict after conflict after conflict. We had a major conflict called Civil War. Surely you heard about something about that one back in 1863, 1864. Or prior to that, we actually had two major wars from one country who still wanted us back. Never did get us back after 1812. And my mama, she's busting my ass because she wants more attention. Even though I'm here 24/7, she's not happy. During the nighttime, around 7 o'clock, when it gets lower in dusk, she gets more and more agitated. So she's going to be like this all night long. And this is what I got to deal with. So I got one civil war after another civil war. Care to join me? And that being said,